So in the previous video, we learned about tarnish and corrosion. Now we are clear onto the concept that tarnish is related to the surface properties while corrosion actually goes and degrades. Now I know that corrosion can be because of multiple reasons. But what if I tell you that there were multiple types of corrosions as well? And it depends on the multiple factors that which type of corrosion will be caused in oral cavity. Are you also equally excited to learn this topic? Then keep watching. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Riddhi Lalan, prosthodontist and your mentor for dental material and prosthodontics, and today we shall be learning about types of corrosion in detail. So let's begin by understanding what are the multiple types. Oh, looking at this itself is just giving me stress. What if I have to write this answer? How do I remember it? Don't worry, I have a very fun way to teach what this is about. Let's just quickly know what are the names. There is something known as galvanic corrosion, followed by chemical or dry corrosion, electrochemical, which is wet corrosion, heterogeneous composition, stress corrosion, concentration cell corrosion, which is also known as crevice corrosion. So now, this is really difficult to remember all of this. But what if I tell you that there is a story behind this? So there are these people who are together going to perform money heist. And what they have to do is break into a metal vault. But each one of them has their own special capabilities which will help them in breaking the metal vault. What are these? Let's just quickly look at each person and their quality and how they actually break in and rob the bank. So first one is the concentration cell corrosion. What does this mean? He is nothing but oxygen trickster. He is going to attack to the areas that's going to have less of oxygen. So what is going to happen here? That because of low oxygen concentration, it will just lead to formation of anode and cathode. You remember there was one option in the MCQ that we had seen, that high concentration of oxygen is going to prevent corrosion. No, it is not, because that will start acting as cathode, while the other part that has become low in concentration will start acting as anode. And because now I have my electrical anodes and cathodes determined, there is going to be an electrolyte path which will start functioning and causing corrosion. So when I talk about concentrated cell corrosion, it is nothing but your crevice corrosion that occurs because of the change in oxygen gradient. The high and low oxygen will lead to formation of anode and cathode, which in presence of electrolyte like food debris and saliva will start generating your entire corrosion procedure. Then talking about the second person, who's the silent cracker. What is he going to do? He's going to look for the problem. And the problem here is nothing but stress. Now I know that if there is stress generated at one point, that is the point that I need to impact upon. And that is what it's going to do. It's exactly going to find that point that has the stress, and it is going to start impacting onto it, which will lead to micro cracks. And these micro cracks will eventually propagate and lead to corroding of metal. Now I know what are the corrosive agents that are present here. Agents like chlorides. What are they going to do? When the tensile strength, which is the pulling strength, is applied, already there is stress that is generated, and the weaker zone will be impacted by this stress concentration, and the silent cracker is going to play his role here. Then comes the third person, which is the chemical corrosion. So this person is not going to wait for any electrolyte to come and help him, or any point to convert into anode and cathode. He is just going to come in contact, impart his chemical onto it, and start degrading the material. So what is going to happen? It's actually going to directly attack using the chemical and start oxidizing the metal. And because of this, there are going to be gases that are going to interact with the metal directly without the presence of electrolyte, which will lead to pitting, corrosion, and what you see here is the corrosive mass formed. Now the next person is the electrochemical. He is somebody who's a team player. He says, I don't function alone. I will go along with my team and together we'll just fasten the procedure. And what is it going to do? It's actually going to cause failure at points that they know are going to be the weakest. And there are three people. So one is going to act like the cathode. One is going to be the protector. If somebody attacks, he's going to be defensive. He's the cathode. And your electrolytes are going to just lead to pitting and corrosion. So now what's going to happen here is anode is going to work onto it. Cathode is going to promote and electrolyte is going to guide them how to cause the corrosion. So this team is going to function electrochemically. So you also need to understand that it is also known as wet type of corrosion because there is going to be electrolyte and electrolytes are present in your saliva and saliva is formed majorly out of water. So this is known as your wet corrosion as well. Talking about the crevice corrosion. So this is something about the hidden assassin. He just waits. He waits at the point where there is hidden joint, where there is crevice attack zone. And what is going to happen here? Again, there is going to be anode and cathode form. Anode will be formed due to the stagnant electrolyte and cathode will be the one that's going to be protective. There is going to be the flow from cathode to anode, which will lead to ion transfer. And this ion transfer will make a circuit. And this circuit is going to lead to corrosion and degrading of the entire material. The next year is the heterogeneous composition. So what is he going to do? He's that person who works already with the bankers. He knows what is the perfect time to attack, when the security is going to be the least. So what is it here? Nothing but where there are dissimilar metals. Now that part is going to be the phase which is going to be the weakest. We also know if you have broken a thing and you have joined it, the joining part is going to be the weakest, right? Until it has blended properly. So now if I have heterogeneous mix, wherein there are two different mixes, there is going to be resistance and anode, which will lead to sacrificing of their own bank. And that is in turn going to lead to breakdown, leading to permanent, irreversible damage. And ultimately, the entire structure breaks. And the best one, that is the electric thief, somebody who comes with a superpower. What are the superpower here? So whenever he sees two different metal that is present in the oral cavity, he's going to convert the one that's less reactive into cathode and the one that's more reactive into anode. And he's going to have electrolytes and facilitate current that's going to flow. So the patient will have sharp shooting pain. There will be lots of pain that is present. And this is nothing but again making your anode and cathode, having your electrical potential play its role and conduction of minute current which are enough to corrode the material. This has two things. Patient will have sharp shooting pain because of the current that's generated. At the same time, the second thing is that the metal is going to undergo corrosion. And which metal sacrifices itself every time? It's the one who's attacking, the anode. So let's just quickly understand about galvanic corrosion here. It is when two dissimilar metals come in contact. It is also known as wet corrosion or electrochemical corrosion because they were also team players, right? Three people in anode, cathode, electrolyte. Galvanic corrosion has that. And the cause can be dissimilar metal along with electrolyte, along with your electrical potential that's cut. So anode being more reactive is going to lose electron and corrode. Cathode, being less reactive, is going to gain electron. He's gaining and he's protecting himself. Electrolyte will just facilitate this reaction. What are the clinical signs and symptoms? Metallic taste, discomfort, failure, and at the same time discoloration and your sharp pain that is present. So what you see here, correct? You see amalgam and gold. Which is more reactive? It's your amalgam. And which is less reactive? It's gold. So gold gets protected while amalgam is compromised. And this is nothing but corrosion of amalgam that leads to losing of the material, at the same time compromising the tooth structure and corroding it permanently. So now what and how can you prevent it? So when I know that it is the two dissimilar metals that cause this problem, I will avoid using them. If there is already one type of restoration that's present, I'll give the similar restoration. So now you'll ask me, so ma'am, do you tell that if there is gold restoration, I should give gold? Gold I cannot afford now at this point of time. You can just replace the previous restoration with your PFM crown and give a new PFM crown. Also, you can use varnish and cement between both the metals to prevent them from coming in direct contact. But this will not happen if the occlusal surface is in picture. Also use corrosion resistant alloys. So what you can use is high noble metal. If cost is a problem, you can use titanium as well. Control oral environment. So there needs to be less acidic solutions or pH that is present. You maintain almost neutral. Avoid excessive acidic food in which your pH does not convert into more acidic format, and there has to be routine follow-ups to keep up with it. The best thing to avoid galvanic corrosion would be to avoid dissimilar metal, because all the other methods will be momentarily, temporarily effective. On longer duration, none of this works. So this was about your galvanic corrosion. So let's just quickly solve the MCQ. Passivation refers to increase in corrosion rate? No, that's not true. Then, is it formation of protective layer? Loss of electron, dissolution of metal ion. It is formation of protective layer. So now can you tell me which metal actually has passivating effect? It is your chromium. At the same time, titanium. That can promote passivating effect. So now we move on to the next thing, that is your flashcard. Crevice corrosion is most likely to occur in. So who was the crevice corrosion thing? It was nothing but the oxygen scavenger. So whenever there is going to be change in gradient of oxygen, this will lead to oxygen scavenger, that will lead to crevice corrosion. So if you enjoyed learning this and will never forget because of the story that we have just made, do follow and binge watch the entire playlist, because dental material is really fun to learn. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. But before that, if you want to reserve your spot on Dental Spotlight 2.0, don't forget to maintain the streak onto the app. We will contact you and invite you to Dental Spotlight soon. See you there.